Let's have a talk about how can we install the GeoServer and configure our services. Means configure our database backend server with GeoServer and produce our different services from our backend server, like generating the WMS services and WFS services, and then after the service generation is done, then we can call the services to our application page from the view. That's the idea. That's I already discussed that one, the last screencast. How can we can configure the GeoServer, how can define our services, and then call the services into our view pages, into our HTML pages. And that's, let's have a start. So you see that you can go to the GeoServer, the web page, and you can download the Windows installer. This is the Windows installer. When you there is a exe files, and it should install the GeoServer into your machines, and then with the Tomcat web service web container. And if you are the web archive, and then you just download the jar files, and then the jar file you need to copy into the Tomcat web app folders and start the Tomcat, and its GeoServer will be started. And so normally for Windows cases, that download this one and install there is a instruction how can you go to the installation process, and the next just you need to follow the instruction of the installations, and it is install the GeoServer, and then so on. And you needed a Java specific version, you need the Java runtime or SDK depending, and then this is the run Jihari is enough for the GeoServer. Installation done, and is created is the most important one, this one, the default data directory. So all your configuration data, or your files, or your databases, or configuration, or your style file, your shape files, or your geometry files, so all files is stored here. So that means when you are trying to call any service, any files from the systems, then you have to go store these files into the here. I will show you how is it I already did. So here is the default admin server and GeoServer. You can, even though you can control or configure it after the admin and GeoServer login, and then you can change it in this one. When I already put it here, 8080 is the default port. For this, if it's not this port free into the machines, then you can put it in an independent port. I already put it here 777. I will show you how is it there works. So installation done, and then when the installation done, you get the final results, and then you can start from the local host, your host number where your GeoServer install. For our application, we need to install the GeoServer into the client machines, maybe the client machine number, IP address, and the free port number to do it. You have to do this installation into the client machines. If your application to install in this application is to install somewhere into the any 100 is a client machines, and then you need to 100 instance of the GeoServer, and then do the application. Or maybe you have a central GeoServer, and then you can access from the central GeoServer, and for your application, for other clients can use it. So after the installation done, you can get it like this is the project structure, the file structure, the bin directory. So the bin directory, the start and stop. So we'll start and stop the GeoServer for clicking this one, and then this is the most important one. This is data directory, is containing all the data that you have it into here. So it's a data directory, and all necessary information is there. So if I go to the data directory, you see I have a shape files, lot of the geometry files, and this is the information. Then I try to use it from the GeoServer interface, user interface, the web user interface. So you see that my data is there. So all the administrative data in the capital city in Dhaka in Bangladesh, and educational shape files and all things information is there. So this data is coming from the OpenStreetMap. I talked about that one in my last screencast. How can you take the data from the OpenStreetMap as a shape file format, and then you can import this data into the file system in here. If you try to directly use the file system database from the GeoServer, or if you can, even though this data has to be put directly to the backend server in the PostGIS database, and then you can take this data from the PostGIS database into GeoServer and then build the services. So that means when you build the service into GeoServer, there's two possibility: in the file system to take the data from the file systems, or to take the data from the backend, your database systems. If you are data in the backend database system, you have a more really control your filtering condition, your geoprocessing task you can do there. And that's I already discussed. There's a lot of things in here. The last my last screencast I discussed is how can you filter, how can you configure your data server, and then you can filter it, you abstract it, and more lot of geoprocessing tasks you can do it here there. So if I go there, so this is our database. So I put it here, all the schemas informations. At the last screencast, I already discussed a lot of more here. So you see the tables here. So all the geometry part, and even though here I had it like a small script, the basic script, then filtering tasks you can do when either you did all the input in the database. Then even though you can do all the processing tasks, you can filter it, you can group it, and then what you like to do. Just as like here I selected it, here all the roads has a really 40,000 record, but I need only the which records information that I need to the roads road information selected from this one, and then there's a little more information, so we then don't need to select from the. So here's that I see there's a lot of information, but it says a 6,140 records. If I go to the simple road static tables, it has a little more. We don't need to do the, let's say select all which table it is, roads maybe, that's right. So it has really more. So it's take really long time. So you see that there is a 40,000 records. So we need it to 34,000 records. So we need all things to get it in the GeoServer, because a lot of data is there. So that's why my idea to take it like from these files, from the shape files, you import the shape file to the database, and then this is the road information. So this is just really huge. So you take this shape file to the database and then do some processing tasks, and then after your final results has to be taken from there. So that's why there's the abstract information file, network file, and the raw data information files, and from here or into your backend database server, what you would like to do. But for my case, in the professional life, normally we put it all the shape files information into the backend server and process data and filter it, abstract it, and group it the data, and give the clear data here, and take this data from the GeoServer will take this data from the back. So, but there's a both possibility you can do it. So when your GeoServer installation is properly works, is properly done, that's what you need. This is another data sets for other purposes. That's I put it here, and this is a lot of data sets. It's a raw data sets. You see, a lot of data is there for different purposes. So we put it everything there, and then when your data input is here, the shape files is there, then you can start the GeoServer. So let's have a start to the GeoServer. Start the GeoServer, or you can go to the buttons. So start the GeoServer. So GeoServer will start it with a specific port that I said. This the Java version is linked to the bin folder, and this is all the necessary information. This is the information is directly reading from your data directory folders. So you see all the configure layers and workspaces and storage and layers and all information is there. So the GeoServer we started what we expected. Let's say so when the GeoServer started, then we can go to our workspace. That's when we have it in here. Let's have it started. So that means GeoServer started. You see, get the information from here. You see the GeoServer is still running. It's not still running. The end of the message will be. This is the GeoServer is started. So you see there's a local host and 777 and GeoServer web resource, all things is here. So that means we can now add GeoAdmin and then default Geo